Olympics with boxing. I've been to 5 different weight classes, and I fought the best in my era. The key punch in boxing is the jab.
Hold me back.
For his upcoming fight against Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford isn't just sticking to his usual training methods. He's brought in a new coach to his team, aiming to focus on specific workouts that will help him manage his weight effectively for fight night. After an intense training session, Crawford even had a fun sparring match with Mayweather, where both tested each other's skills. Terence Crawford jumped back into a short training camp soon after recovering from an illness, getting ready for his September fight against Canelo Alvarez. This isn't surprising, as the undisputed world champion plans to ramp up his training as the fight draws closer. He's off to a strong start, experimenting with new training methods to gain weight, ensuring his smaller size won't be a disadvantage. In the ring,
I think, I take more chances.
Excuse me, Crawford.
Right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So,
as Crawford mentioned, he and Mayweather share a lot in common. Boxing fans often compare the two to see who stands out as the better fighter. According to a recent source, Crawford might have the edge in a head-to-head match when it comes to pure fighting skills, though Floyd Mayweather Jr. is considered one of the greatest in the sport.
Floyd Mayweather, you talk about, you talk about money, or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was what is seek and destroy.
Mayweather dominated many of his opponents through precise jabs and exceptional counterpunching. His ability to time his punches perfectly allowed him to adapt and outsmart different versions of fighters throughout his career.
It's from the left hooks again. There's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off en masse here at the engine.
As critics say, Pretty Boy Floyd was known for his aggressive style, taking the fight straight to his opponents. Later in his career, Money Mayweather mastered the art of outboxing his rivals with strategic brilliance. Regardless of your preferred style, Floyd Mayweather Jr. became a legend through both approaches. Fans are still amazed by what Crawford did to Spence in their last fight, whether it was his sharp power jabs breaking through Spence's guard, his precise counterpunching, or landing shots in heavy exchanges. We've seen great boxing before, but Crawford's performance against someone as skilled as Spence was exceptional. When it comes to pure boxing skills, no one has an easy path against Mayweather. However, Crawford's style is unique, explosive, and highly effective. If Crawford had faced Mayweather in his prime, it would have been fascinating to see how Crawford's pinpoint punches matched up against Mayweather's defensive genius. Who would land the first jab? Who would dominate the counter punches? There are countless ways this could play out, making it a thrilling topic to debate. How many times have we seen Mayweather luring his opponents to the center of the ring, where he carefully analyzed their moves and came up with a strategy to break them down? Mayweather used his sharp ring IQ and the philosophy of hit and not get hit, which ultimately led him to a legendary career as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Crawford, now crowned as the undisputed champion in both junior welterweight and welterweight, has also shown impressive ring IQ throughout his career. While Mayweather dazzled with hand speed, particularly with counterpunching, Crawford has his own unique edge with quick, unpredictable angles and powerful delivery. Mayweather's 50 wins with 27 knockouts are compared to Crawford's 40 wins, 31 of which came by knockout, and Crawford isn't slowing down. Crawford's skills were on full display when he dominated Spence, knocking him down 3 times before securing a 9th-round TKO. Spence, known for his power punching and body shots, had previously broken down top fighters like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yordenis Ugas to become the unified world welterweight champion. But Crawford made it look effortless, with his power being a key factor in his success. His defense, reminiscent of Mayweather's Philly shell, saw him absorb punches while using his free hand to land precise counters. This defensive counterpunching is boxing at its absolute finest.
That's unbelievable. You young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong.
You're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you...
And again, it's not just hand.
Crawford has some slick defensive moves as well, but Mayweather took defensive boxing to a whole new level, almost perfecting it. Imagine how a fight between a prime Mayweather and Crawford would play out. Who would win? After a tense first round where both boxers try to get a feel for each other, Crawford would likely be the more active fighter early on, landing shots, even though many would be blocked or absorbed by Mayweather's shoulder and elbow. As the fight moves into the middle rounds, Mayweather's style would begin to take over, with him peppering Crawford with jabs and winning some rounds.
The way he rolls with punches, but the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Through a series of punches and nothing really landed. The ripping fight. Well, Mayweather.
However, with Crawford's relentless pressure and firepower, he could start to land some clean shots on Mayweather, even hurting him at times. This fight would be close, but Crawford's ability to keep up the pressure and his sharp punches might be enough to sway the judges, earning him a points win over Mayweather. Crawford's fighting skills, combined with his incredible work ethic and unbeaten record, make him a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world. His training routine, which combines intense physical conditioning with a strong mental focus, prepares him for big challenges like facing Canelo Alvarez. His daily training includes a mix of weight training, conditioning workouts to boost speed and agility, core exercises, and even mountain runs. Terence Crawford is a big fan of swimming for cardio training. He swims for 30 minutes to an hour every night, and it's a great non-impact exercise that's easy on the joints while helping with muscle recovery and regeneration. It doesn't come naturally to him, so he has to work a bit harder at it, but he feels it really benefits his cardio. After swimming, Crawford moves on to boxing training, always pushing himself to improve both his offensive and defensive skills. One of the things that sets him apart is his ability to seamlessly switch between stances. Initially, his coaches wanted him to stick to one stance, but over time, they realized it was better to train him in both. You can still see him practicing this today. Early in his career, Crawford often sparred with other top fighters, impressing them with his skills. Now, other fighters come to him to spar, though they usually don't win because Crawford is so good, even when using his left hand. When Crawford spars, he often relies on his world-class left hand. Boxing fans know that developing punching power requires a lot of effort, and Crawford is no exception. He uses the heavy bag to improve his punching technique and strengthen his shoulders, mixing up the pace of his punches to get the most out of the exercise. One of the key elements in Crawford's training is working with his coaches on pads. During these sessions, he doesn't focus on speed or power, but instead works on various offensive and defensive techniques. His team also uses other tools like reaction noodles and a punch shield to improve movement and accuracy. Crawford is also an exceptional shadow boxer. He's great at staying calm and adjusting to what's happening in the ring, throwing punches, in both offensive and defensive situations, as if it's effortless. Crawford also pushes himself by training under tough conditions, and when he's not doing that, he uses 2 kilos dumbbells while shadowboxing to build strength while staying quick and agile. His focus is always on improving accuracy and timing. To do this, he uses a double-end bag which helps him practice footwork and head movement, skills that are crucial in boxing. Crawford's trainer, Bulk, also uses sticks during training to surprise Crawford, forcing him to respond defensively. Additionally, Crawford's nutrition plan is designed to fuel his performance and recovery, focusing on lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, and hydration. He leaves all the food planning to his coach. "My chef tells him what she wants me to eat, and she prepares it," Crawford shared with Muscle and Fitness. The last time she was with me for the whole camp and handled everything with the food, I don't really think about it. They cook it, and I just eat. Interview 13 Mikey Garcia, the younger brother of Robert Garcia, who won Trainer of the Year by Ring Magazine, was one of the critics of Crawford's potential fight with certain opponents. Garcia, a former featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight and super lightweight champion, expressed his doubts about the fight despite it being highly anticipated by fans. "I'm not a big fan of that fight," Garcia told Fight Hub TV, pointing out the significant weight difference between the Mexican fighter and the American. He also recalled how Crawford had struggled when he moved up to 154 pounds, facing challenges in 3 different weight classes.
Too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo.
Despite Crawford's superior skills, Garcia believes the size difference will be the key factor in a potential matchup. He thinks the Mexican fighter's speed and size would likely give him the advantage. "That's why I'm not a fan of that fight," Garcia explained. "I think Crawford has already done everything he needed to from 140 to 147. And now 154 is even bigger for him." Garcia added that if Crawford really wants to push himself, he could focus on an undisputed fight in his current division. But there's one problem: there's no money in that. While Garcia acknowledges that a fight between Canelo and Crawford would generate significant revenue, he, as a fan of the sport, would rather see Alvarez face fighters in his own weight class or above, like Artur Beterbiev, or a rematch with Dmitry Bivol. He should challenge himself to go up to 175 again and face those guys, not a smaller guy moving up, Garcia stated. The ongoing discussions about a potential fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez continue to fuel excitement and debate in the boxing community, with many professionals offering their perspectives. Crawford, celebrated for his versatility and technical skills, is considering making a daring move to challenge the undisputed super middleweight champion, a decision that has sparked divided opinions among boxing experts.
Gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size.
One notable voice in the debate is former heavyweight world champion Deontay Wilder. In a recent interview with the press, Wilder expressed his concerns about Crawford's significant weight jump from 147 to 168 pounds. "That's way too much," Wilder said. "Although you can move from southpaw to orthodox when you're facing those heavier guys, it feels completely different. It's like you're a baby." He continued, "I'm not saying Crawford can't knock anyone out or punish them, but I think it takes more time when moving up in weight. The way punches are absorbed is entirely different compared to smaller opponents." Since Wilder's comments, Crawford has made strides in closing the weight gap by capturing the WBA super welterweight title. Still, a daunting 14-pound difference remains between him and Canelo Alvarez, which could play a significant role in the fight's outcome. Canelo, known for his relentless punching power and stamina, has solidified himself as a dominant force in the super middleweight class. Despite 2 career defeats by decision, Canelo has consistently displayed remarkable defense and resilience, cementing his status as one of the toughest competitors in boxing. This potential matchup promises to be an electrifying spectacle, but it also presents a monumental challenge for Crawford. To succeed, the Omaha native must show exceptional adaptability and resilience against an opponent of Canelo's caliber in a higher weight class. While Wilder's concerns about the weight gap are valid, the appeal of this fight is undeniable. It's a matchup between 2 of boxing's elite talents, creating a thrilling clash of styles and raw power that has fans eagerly anticipating what could become one of the sport's most captivating events. Surprisingly, Canelo Alvarez already has a guaranteed opponent for 2025. Not for the May date, but for his second fight of the year, which is planned for September, during the weekend of Mexico's Independence Day celebrations in Las Vegas. After much negotiation, it seems that the efforts are paying off for Terence Crawford and his promoter Alec Turkey. Crawford, the undefeated American fighter, is set to be Canelo's opponent for this highly anticipated second fight of 2025. However, if Alvarez is to accept this challenge, it will be quite costly for the organizers, as Canelo had already mentioned that he would need a hefty payday. Boxing insider Ray Jackson reports that Canelo Alvarez is expected to receive $150 million for this fight, a sum the Guadalajara native had indicated last year, making it clear that he would only consider taking the fight under these conditions. This deal would return Canelo to the top of the highest-paid athletes list, a ranking he dropped from the previous year. The potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford could be one of the most talked-about fights of the last decade, kicking off 2025 with a series of exciting developments for boxing fans. There are several high-profile bouts scheduled for the year, but this one is especially significant. According to reports from Essentially Sports, Alec Turkey played a crucial role in making this fight a reality, recently meeting with Canelo to discuss the business side and secure the multi-million-dollar deal for his upcoming fights. It's rumored that the fight against Crawford will take place in mid-December, coinciding with Mexico's Independence Day celebrations. However, the biggest question surrounding this potential matchup is the weight difference between the two fighters. Boxing experts and even former world champions, including Mike Tyson, are concerned about how Crawford, a southpaw from Alabama, will handle the weight difference, as Canelo is 2 weight classes above him. Legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV, expressing his respect for Crawford's abilities. "Very few people have the appetite or aptitude for challenging themselves," Atlas said. "I'd never bet against Crawford. Father Time might catch up to him, but I don't think a weight class can." This fight is a massive challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter, bigger, stronger, and with powerful punching ability and impeccable timing. But Crawford, despite being smaller, will come up with a game plan to make Canelo use his size. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, McIntyre praised the undefeated Crawford, who is linked to a potential fight against Canelo in May or September. "Crawford has all the tools to win a third-weight undisputed crown. Any serious boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo," McIntyre said. "You have to know the sport to make that call." That's all for now. For the latest updates on news, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications so you never miss new content like this. Until next time, peace out.